A face in the dark. Mr. Oliver, an Anglo-Indian teacher, was returning to his school late one night on the outskirts of the hill station of Shimla. From before Kipling's time, the school had been run on the lines of the English public school, and the boys, most of them from wealthy Indian families, wore blazers, caps, and ties. Life magazine, in a feature of India, had once called it the Eton of the East. Oliver had been teaching the school for several years. The Shimla Bazaar, with its cinemas and restaurants, was about 3 miles from the school. And Mr. Oliver, a bachelor, usually strolled the towns in the dark evening, returning after dark, when he would take a shortcut through the pine forest. There was a strong wind. The pine made sad ear sounds that kept most of the people to the main road. But Mr. Oliver was not a nervous or imaginative man. He carried a torch, and its gleam, the batteries were running down. He moved fitfully down a narrow forest path when its flickering light fell on the figure of a boy who was sitting alone on a rock. Mr. Oliver stopped. Boys were not supposed to be out for dark. "What are you doing here, boy?" asked Mr. Oliver, moving closer so that he could recognize the miscreant. But even as he approached the boy, Mr. Oliver sensed that something was wrong. The boy appeared to be crying. His head has hung down. His head was face in his hand, and his body shook confusedly. It was strange, soundless weeping, and Mr. Oliver felt distinctly uneasy. "Well, what's the matter?" he asked, his anger giving the way to the concern. "What are you crying for?" The boy would not answer or even look up, but his body continued the silent sobbing. "Come here, boy, you shouldn't be out here at this hour. Tell me the trouble. Look up!" The boy looked up. He took his hands from his face and looked at the teacher. The light from Mr. Oliver's torch fell on the boy's face. Only if he could call it a face. It had no eyes, ears, nose, or mouth. It was just a round, smooth head with a cap on the top of it. And that's where the story should end. But for Mr. Oliver, it did not. Torch fell from his trembling hand, and he turned and scrambled down the path, running blindly through the forest and calling for help. He was still running towards the school building when he saw a lantern swinging in the middle of the path. Mr. Oliver stumbled upon the watchman, gasping for breath.
"What it is, Sahib?"
asked the watchman.
"Has there been any accident? Why are you running?"
I saw something horrible. A boy weeping in the forest, and he had no face.
"No face, Sahib?"
No eyes, no nose, mouth, and nothing.
"Do you mean it was like this, Sahib?"
asked the watchman, and raised the lamp